I'm going to be teaching you how to do a purple ombre. So it is exactly like a regular ombre in the sense that it goes from darker to lighter, but we will be doing it with purple tones. So first we will be using Pravana's Violet. The reason I really like Pravana is because it is very easy to remove. You can easily strip it out with a hair color remover or bleach just by leaving it on like less than a minute. So unlike other dyes that stay in your hair and are really hard to remove in the future, this one's super easy to change colors from. And then we are going to be using Joico's Titanium. Joico is the same in that the sense that it's really easy to remove, so you don't have to worry about your hair getting stained permanently. And so this one's kind of like a silver color. The reason I used this was because I used to have red in my hair, and so I did not want to see any red in my hair. And this kind of gives it a silvery look at the ends. And for the bleaching process, I used Joico's Vero Light Bleach. This one lifts up to 8 levels at once. I love it. It lifts the hair really fast. It lifts it really evenly. And then I used 20 Developer. I do have very dark brown hair. I use 20 Developer because a lot of people often make the mistake of using 40 Vol because they want to get their hair as blonde as possible right away. But that's a way that you can very easily fry your hair. 20 Developer is going to take longer. It's going to be a little slower, but it's going to get your hair there a lot healthier. And then the third step was Olaplex. Now, if you've never heard of Olaplex, what it is, it's like the holy grail of hair color. It basically keeps the hair healthy throughout the coloring process, through any chemical process, so that the bleach does not damage your hair. It's amazing. My hair has been bleached various times and it still feels great. And so it comes with Olaplex number 1. This is the mini travel size. So Olaplex number 1 is a bond multiplier. So you mix this with your hair color before you apply it to your hair. And what this is going to do is it's going to slow down the process, but also strengthen the bonds in your hair so that your hair stays very healthy. And then we have Olaplex number 2, which you are going to use after you color your hair. And this one you are going to apply kind of as a treatment and leave it on about 10 minutes after you've rinsed out doing all your hair color. And then number 3 is something you use at home, kind of the same way you use number 2, but this is a few days after you've colored your hair. As far as the bleaching process goes, my hair was already ombre before this, so I had about 2 inches of dark roots, 2 inches of about red, and then the rest was kind of like a faded out orangey blonde. So the way I did it was I mixed the 20 Developer with the bleach and the Olaplex number 1, and I applied all over. So what that gave me was kind of a darker blonde to a really light blonde. The reason you want your ends to be really light, you want to get them as close to white as possible, is because we are doing a pastel color at the ends, and the pastels are not going to take on your hair unless it's extremely light. They would not take up here where my hair was like a darker blonde. So you're going to want to get your hair from a darker blonde to a lighter blonde at the ends. If you are starting with hair that has not been bleached, you can bleach your hair all over once, and then the second time around go in and just bleach the ends. Obviously when you are bleaching, avoid the roots. Do those at the very end because roots grab the fastest. Since I am a hairstylist, I am going to warn you about bleaching. Bleaching is very hard, especially to do yourself and at home. Many people damage their hair that way. So if you can, please get a hold of the Olaplex, especially since we are going to be getting the ends really close to white. Unfortunately, Olaplex is not available in stores unless you have a cosmetology license, but I do know you can order it online, so I highly recommend this. And I also recommend either getting a friend to help you with the bleaching process, somebody who has also done a good amount of research, or going to a salon to get it bleached. The color application is very easy. The hardest part of all this is going to be the bleaching. I bleached my hair at home myself, and it was still not the most even bleach, even though I bleached tons of people's hair. It's just really hard. So get somebody to help you, or else you're going to end up with spottiness everywhere, or get a salon. But bleaching is going to be the hardest part of this whole process. I'm going to jump over to when I start coloring my hair. I did skip over the bleaching part because, like I said, my situation was a little weird because I had all those colors going on. But if you are doing it at home, bleach, and then you might want to go in either a second time or a third time at the end to try to get them as light as possible. Like I said, beware of the bleach, watch your hair the whole time, and test to make sure that it's still strong. So you will kind of get to see how blonde my hair is to kind of get an idea. Okay, so this is my hair color right now. As you can tell, it is pretty light. So here we have the Pravana Vivids in, I think it's called Lavender or Violet. It's called in Violet. And then we have the Joico Color Intensity in Titanium. So we got a purple and a silver. And then we got a bottle of cheap conditioner, which we are going to use as a diluter. Okay, so this is the top color that's going to go closest to your roots. As you can see, we have conditioner, purple, and titanium. So we have about an equal amount of both, and the reason for that is because the top color is going to be pretty dark. As you can see, it's a pretty dark purple. You mix as much as you want depending on how much hair you have, but like I said, do about equal parts of all three. So we are going to start from here and do about 2 inches of this color. I didn't realize I didn't have gloves until I got home, so my hands are just going to be staying purple. Going through doing the 2 inches of hair all around. It's kind of like if you were doing a root touch-up, like just touching up your roots. And the back is a little difficult, so it kind of helps if you have either a mirror to help you check out the back or someone to help you color the back. Fortunately, I do not have either, so we're just kind of winging it here. I've applied the root color all around. So now we're going to mix in the second color, which is going to go about 2 inches down. So for the second color, I'm using the tiniest bit of purple, a squirt of the silver, and a lot of conditioner. The bowl already has a lot of purple in it, and that color is very strong, so we don't want to mix in too much. This one's a lot lighter. Like I said, be very careful with that violet. It's really strong. The tiniest drop can make a huge difference. So now I'm going to apply that from mids. And I'm going to overlap it onto the previous color, and that's totally okay because we're color melting them in, so it's good that they overlap. You can take it as far down as you want. If you want to, I kind of want to see more lavender in my hair than I do dark purple, so I'm not taking it down very far. This is after applying the second color. I did kind of cheat and use my hands, and this is if you're doing it by yourself. It's a lot easier to use your hands than the brush. So what I did is I grabbed the color and kind of went in with my fingers and just pulled it down. Make sure you get evenly saturated, and it's a lot easier to do than the brush, but like I said, use some gloves. I have a little bit of purple left, and that is all the purple we're going to use in the third color. We are not adding any more purple because, like I said, it's really strong, and we want our last color to be really pastel and really soft, so I'm going to add a bunch of conditioner. Okay, this is our last color, and I'm just going to add a squirt of titanium. Added probably about 2 quarter-size amounts of silver, and it's okay if you don't think it looks purple enough for your hair because you do have a lot of purple in your hair right now, as you can kind of tell, and that's going to kind of bleed into the lavender color. So now go ahead and apply that to the rest. And like I said, some of your top color is going to bleed into that, and that's totally okay. Grab where you finished applying the second color and then pull down from there. What that's going to do is it's going to bleed in the other 2 colors into this color, so that it's not a very clear separation in colors. That way everything looks really melted in together and really soft. Finished applying the hair colors. As you can see, we have a darker, a medium, and then a really light. If at first it looks like the pastel color really isn't taking very well, don't mix in more purple. Let it sit for about 25 minutes, and it'll slowly start to saturate your hair in there. As hair has different porosities, it'll grab different colors in different areas. But that's okay. It'll kind of give it a cool look to it. If you add more purple, it's just going to turn your hair really purple. So let it sit 25 minutes. If you guys need any idea how much conditioner I used about half the bottle of Tresemme, which is, I think it's about a liter? No, it's 28 ounces. And so I used about half of that for my hair length. So if you have longer hair, you'll probably end up using the whole bottle, but that kind of gives you an idea of the ratio of color to conditioner that I use. After I applied, like I said, I let it sit for about 25 minutes. I rinsed my hair once. When you are rinsing, you are going to rinse extremely fast, because if you do not rinse fast enough, the purple from the top is going to bleed into your ends, and your ends aren't going to be pastel anymore. So you need to either jump in the shower or have somebody help you rinse it out, but you need to rinse that color out as fast as possible so that it's not staining your ends. After I rinsed my hair out, I went in with the Olaplex number 2, and I did about half of the tube, and I applied to my hair, and I combed it through, and I let it sit 10 minutes, which moisturized my hair a lot. And so after I rinsed that out, I shampooed and conditioned, and then a day after I went in with, it's a 10, this is a hair mask, and so it's also a deep conditioning treatment. As you can see, grab a handful, and I applied it to my hair, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then rinsed it out. After all that, my hair still feels great. It's really moisturized, it's not dry at all. So I definitely recommend doing a deep conditioning treatment at home. So this is my color after 3 washes. As you can see, you have the darker purple, the medium purple, the lighter purple. Again, like I said, when you shampoo the first time, make sure you shampoo thoroughly and all of it out. That way, when you shampoo in the future, you don't have a bunch of color running down. But for the first few days that you are shampooing, you are going to want to keep shampooing really fast, because if any purple does run down, it will stain your ends. As you saw in the tutorial, I only added a little bit of silver towards my ends, but it's totally up to you. If you want to add more, you can make your hair more silver. If you don't want your ends as dark, you want them even more pastel, you can go heavier with the conditioner. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.